Nothing seems to go right. Melodies don't sound right. It's true. Days disappear, shadows remain plainly clear. The door opens, and the fizzing in my beer slows. The door opens as it slows. I see a shade of something moving like a blanket in the wind. A pretty little blanket, perfect to heal me in May end. The door opens, and the fizzing in my beer slows. She walks by, and the spinning in my head grows. The door opens as it slows. I wish that I was pretty, more pretty than reflections look tonight. But I'm past the point of caring. It's time to make a moment. Let's not make a moment. This shouldn't be a moment. The door opens, and the fizzing in my beer slows. She walks by, the spinning in my head grows. When the door opens, and the fizzing in my beer slows. As she walks by, oh, she walks by, the spinning in my head grows. Watch it go. The door opens, and it slows. Closing sale, everything must go, nothing left behind, no wild oats to sow. It's out of my way, I'm done now, you see. You took the meat, but not my bones, now throw away your key. One foot out the door, persistent, you are frozen in time. Oh, I love you slips out of my mind. So sail, set sail, a little bird. Just go and set sail. Set sail, set sail, a little bird. Just go and set sail. I'll take take my ship away. As the storm rolls in, I hope the wind is with me, and I hope you've learned that the pirate within me is sworn to the truth. Live or die by this rule. Something old and something new is the treasure within me. As sad as it seems, you will come to know what it all means to me. Set sail, little bird. Just go and set sail. Set sail, little bird. You just go now and set sail. Some pictures and some memories, ones I can't forget. On the crest of my black heart, you best not forget that the pirate never loses. He always collects one way or another. Now you can clear up all your regrets of the time you set sail with that pirate from the sky. You will remember him until that day that you die. Set sail, little bird. Now come on, just set sail. Set sail, little bird. Now I want you to set sail. Set sail, oh, little bird. Now I want you to set sail. Don't forget to lose your mind tonight. Just watch me. Hello. Don't you think about responsibilities. Just feel what you want. Feel what you want tonight. I want you to say how you feel. I want you to tell me I'm no good. We'll send you on your way if you say so. You try to, but you see me staring back at you. I'm staring back at you. So have another dance with me, my dear. Move your hips like this. It's clear I'm what you need. As a tear falls down, I want you to say how you feel. I want you to tell me I'm no good. Well, don't you look back, you will miss me. Don't look back, I'm standing under the street light at night. Don't you look back, try to forget. Yeah. So just walk to me, my dear. Look inside me, and it's clear I'm a better man than him. I'm a better man than him. Then time stops. I want you to say how you feel. I want you to tell me I'm no good. Well, don't you look back, you will miss me. Don't look back, I'm standing under the street light at night. Don't you look back, try to forget. Yeah. So just walk to me, my dear. Look inside me, and it's clear. I'm a better man than him. I'm a better man than him. Then time stops. It's the same road as before, and I wonder who I'll see this time. Just to touch the water and swing through the trees. Homemade. Take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Come to think of it, I've never felt so free. My tunes are a blaring, consuming that mountain breeze. It makes me so grateful to be alive. Home is a memory away. Take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Please take me home. Come on. Please take me home. Please take me You've been sitting in my mind by the blueberry pond for years, waiting for a worthy man to be the right kind of crazy, the right kind of touch. I've learned so much, baby, just wait and see. I've learned the right way to hold you tight and save you from all those scary nights. Alone I won't leave you, you will know how it feels to be the star of your show. 'Cause it's true, it's because of you. It's
Years pass me by, asking where I went wrong. Why couldn't I see you were there all along? Alone, I won't leave you. You will know how it feels to be the star of your show. 'Cause it's true. It's because of you. It's true. It's because of you. It's true. It's because of you.
Stop being a bitch, you're at her door.
I know I'll never make it through another storm.
I vowed to save
Hello.
15 years ago. Hello, hello, hello. Got to do now. Here I come. Scary nights.
Am I crazy to believe I'm through this fight?
Hello,
Hello.
hello. 15 years ago. Hello, hello, hello. Got to do now. Here I come. It's because of you.
It's because of
It's
you.
true. It's because of you.
It's because of you.
It's because of you.
It's because of you.
We need to be able to have conversations without feeling like we're going to say something that gets us thrown in jail because people happen to be offended.
Skepticism, skepticism, Do you know what you believe? What you believe? What you believe? What you
All right, guys, we are live. Welcome back to Pangburn. Wow. We made it. Another week on this scary, scary planet. My name's Travis Pangburn. You guys know me. This is Test Your Skepticism, Episode 2. Episode 1 was so much fun. The lines are open. Feel free to interrupt my rambling at any point with a call. The number is on the screen there, 1-940 580-2114. It is a Skype number. If you want to just follow me on Skype or just add me on Skype, I can give you guys that as well. But how are you guys doing? It's Sunday. You should be at church. Not. Where is my Skype ID? Skype ID, Skype ID. I think if you just search Travis Pangburn, yeah, you just search Travis Pangburn, you'll find my, on Skype, you'll find the Pangburn logo on there, and just add me and send me a message if you wish. But the lines are open. Yes, K. Evan Thompson said, so does Travis live in the Canadian Rockies? Yeah, and I just let you know that I live in Vancouver now, but I'm originally from the interior of British Columbia. A village, actually, is what I grew up in. A village of 1,000 people. But yeah, I get back to visit as much as I can, but a huge part of that village and growing up in the wilderness and woods, it's still in me, and I crave being in the woods and building fires and working with wood and things like that. I just always am thinking about it, and every chance I get, I love it. Fishing, I would probably even be hunting if I lived in the Kootenays as well. Yeah, so the lines are open, guys. Feel free to call in, and feel free to go and invite your theist friends, your conspiratorial thinking friends, the ones that, you know, they're a constant stream of posting this stuff, these unfounded claims, these undemonstrated claims. Those are the kind of callers I would hope to get on the show. And I just sent out all of my invites to all the religious groups and pages I have. So if you guys can give a hand by sharing this around, that would be great. But Michaela says, my dad won't call in because he thinks you're a liberal. Travis Pangburn is a liberal. Now that's a good one. But I hope some of you call in today. Maybe it'll be a day of no calls. But yeah, we'll see. It's a brand new show, and trying to spread the word and get the word out there about it. But I think people should test what they think their skepticism is more, and that's what this show is all about. Share to a group. I'm gonna go. Where's our God? My God debate groups. Right there. That's a unique group. Conservative atheists. That's a group I belong to on Facebook. Conservative atheists. You don't find very many conservative atheists. Traditionally conservative atheists. Maybe there are more out there, but they're just like, they don't talk about their atheism much. They're just like, yeah, I don't believe in any of that myth, any of those myths, but yeah, I guess I never talk about it type thing. But the phone lines are open, guys. Again, let's separate bullshit from reality. 1-940-580-2114 to get maybe your juices flowing, your competitive skeptic juices flowing. Couple of claims here. Trump is not racist. Biden is not a pedophile. And I'm an atheist. If you want to call in and challenge me on my atheism, or the fact that you believe Trump is a racist, or you believe Biden is a pedophile, call me. I want to hear why you believe this. I want to hear why you believe the Earth is 6,000 years old. Skepticism, Do you know what you believe? Oh yeah, I should check in with our Discord as well. Dun, 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 dun. Awesome. Yeah, and this will also be one of those shows where we will just kind of keep it rolling, and yeah, whenever people happen to be available to call, and we will do highlight reels of this show, so we will clip out the calls themselves and then post the individual calls from that episode as kind of a highlight compilation. So a lot of this dead air space will be edited out of those. Those will probably be the more share worthy videos. King Squid says conservatism is not the wave. Tell me why. Call me King Squid. I'd like to hear from K. Evan Thompson as well. Yeah, everyone feel free to call in. I see there's a few of you in the room now. We're just getting started here, but the line is open. 1-940-580-2114, or you can call me through Skype or you can add me through Skype. Just search Travis Pangburn and you'll find the Travis Pangburn with the Pangburn logo, and you can just call me through Skype that way. But I wanted to be able to do this show and offer the actual phone line call-in thing, because not everyone knows how to use StreamYard or use Discord or even use YouTube. But yeah, in the meantime, while we're waiting here, please just share. Encourage your friends or family to call in, yeah. I've had a deep itch to get into a conversation about theology recently, because it's been a while since I've talked on the God topic, and I love the God topic. It's awesome. I enjoy it. Say hello when you guys get into the chat here. There's a bunch of you in the room. Just drop a hello so we know you're real. Our YouTube channel gets attacked by bots all the time. Haters of me literally pay money. They go onto these websites and pay money to have bots essentially attack my videos and like post porn links and things like that. Yeah, I wear these things like a badge of honor. That's when you know you're exposing irrationality, when people are just, they feel they need to spend their hard-earned money on crap like that. Smithy says, hi, Travis, I'm real. Hey, Smithy. I hope you call in. Kaizen wants to call in to challenge me on my stance on veganism. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, brother. I saw you were asking some questions in the Discord, but I'm on the air right now. Better time than ever to call in. Yeah, that's a complicated one. Diet. You know, it comes down to you know, the is important of what humanity is when it comes to like for instance, in medicine, which is based around maximizing the well-being of patients, there's a reason why we don't prescribe the vegan diet or the vegetarian diet. We prescribe the healthy, balanced diet. Yeah. Michaela says, finish your work later. Let's go. But yeah, anyone, if you believe in ghosts, if you believe in aliens, if you believe in homeopathy, naturopathic medicine, If you believe in these things, believe that they work, and there are people trying to um, uh, keep these things away from the public because there's a conspiracy, because big pharma just wants to make money. If you think that climate science is telling us that the world is crumbling and coming to an end if we don't act right now, you need skepticism in your life. Call me. Yeah. So what are some other common conspiracy theories? All this QAnon stuff, these massive pedophile rings in Hollywood that haven't been demonstrated to exist. You have a few bad apples that engage in sex with minors, which isn't really traditional pedophilia. Like traditionally, pedophilia meant sex with prepubescent children, but it's kind of taken on a new thing. Like people are quite happy to label someone like Jeffrey Epstein as a pedophile, but he was interacting with girls who had hit puberty. He wasn't under that prepubescent line. But these radical hashtag save the children nutcases out there who think that they're doing something good by saying, "Oh, pedophiles belong in a wood chipper." It's like, no, your moral foundation is so bankrupt on that issue that you get blinded by your extremism, by your radicalism. It blinds you, and it has you spewing immoral shit out of your mouth. It's just a constant flow of claim vomit. K. Evan Thompson says, Ghostbusters taught me to believe in the fluffy Stay Puft God. Yes. One of the greatest moments in cinema. I couldn't help it. I could only think of the most harmless figure, the Stay Puft, the Stay Puft guy. I almost called him the Stay Puft Michelin Man. Guys, take a second to hit that like button. It really helps out the stream. Still waiting for our first caller today. The lines are open. 1-940-580-2114. I have so many haters that, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I have so many haters that wait in the weeds and hide behind their keyboards and say hateful things. And then I will open up a show like this and you can call. And no one shows up. They just don't show up. I guess it means they're afraid. They're afraid to go one-on-one with the Pang. Ahmed El-Masari says, hey back. Hey, I hope you call me, Ahmed. Commentator. Call me through the line, commentator, for this particular show. Blake Shannon says, where can we obtain the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, undoctored and totally free from lies, when this life is full of them? Scotland, blessings. That's a good question, Blake. My answer is skepticism. That's where you can find the truth. You need to build a solid foundation in skepticism within yourself in order to navigate through, an internet and a social media that is going to often be throwing a lot of false claims your way. You need to be evaluating claims, separating bullshit from reality. That's all skepticism is. It says so right here. Let's separate bullshit from reality. That's what I'm promoting here. Skepticism. This is how I think the human being should be built and taught. Understand that the method for us figuring out what is the scientific method. So there's no debate there. There's no other mechanism of determining what is going on in reality. There's no other method. If you have a better method, then present that method. But for now, science is what we got for determining what is. So that takes care of all of the things that we need to figure out of what is going on in reality. Then, when it comes to the ought question, the subjective moral systems that we all have running and operating, the things that tell us right from wrong. These are subjective systems. Some religious believers will claim that they get their objective morality from Almighty God, but there's no evidence that that Almighty God actually exists in reality. So it's like there's nothing special about these claims, really. It's just claims you've gotten from a book. All right, we got our first call. Welcome to Test Your Skepticism. How's it going today?
What's up, Travis? It's Kaizen.
Oh, hey, Kaizen. How's it going?
All right, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm here to pick your brain on why you're okay with eating animals. Let's go.
Why I'm okay with eating animals? Well, it's pleasurable and feels good.
Okay, so why does your pleasure outweigh the suffering they go through to be processed into the meat that's on your plate?
What suffering do you think the animal goes through?
Well, since most of the meat is produced through factory farms, and animals are put in cages and they're really mentally stressed out, they lose their loved ones while they're, and we have proof of this, by the way. Animals can feel grief, at least cows, pigs, and some of the others that you see that come on your plate. They can feel grief and the loss of a loved one. They feel the mental stress and the physical stress.
Yep.
They get packed into these tiny crates and all that.
So mice can too.
I'm sorry.
So mice can too, with their like with relation to their babies.
Okay.
Yeah. So my basically what I'm alluding to is, are you okay with stepping on a mouse's head?
No.
Are you okay with trapping mice?
Trapping and releasing, yeah.
Right,
but
but
mean,
if you couldn't, like,
trap?
if you have a mouse infestation, are you okay with those mice dying and going extinct, at least in your house? Because if you answer, and let me say something. Because if you answer that you wouldn't be okay with that, that's not in the best interest of your well-being. Because mice carry illness with them that can affect you negatively.
All right, yeah, then I'm doing something for my well-being. Eating meat doesn't necessarily correlate to my well-being. Because there's multiple studies that show that a vegan diet is applicable throughout all stages of life. And
so why don't you?
Eating meat isn't really necessary.
So I know you're going
right?
to say studies show, but you need to take the study, like whatever the data is that the study is showing. Make sure that the conclusions line up with the actual findings of the study, and I would also understand that if there has only been one study and not multiple studies done in this area, I would be very careful not to just adopt it. Like, for instance, the medical community is a very good community that takes on the best practices and recommends the best practices to their patients from a standpoint of well-being. And doctors don't prescribe the vegan diet. If you wanted to be better than you are now to improve your well-being, you would take on the vegan diet. If the human being has reached a balance and they're healthy with their diet, they're going to tell them to say, yes, keep it balanced. And the reason why is because these doctors are treating omnivores, right? And an omnivore, we've evolved for millions and millions and millions of years to be able to pick and touch and taste the things around us, all of the things around us. We have that ingrained in us. We don't have this, we've never taken this moral, ethical stance not to eat that thing and not to eat that thing.
That's because we never had the choice.
Right.
Well, now we do have the choice.
Say that again?
I said that's because we've never had the choice throughout history. Now we actually do have the choice with the advancements in in science, dietary science, medicine, all that stuff, we have the choice to not actually eat meat.
So yes, we do have the choice. We are, let's say, in the West, from a food survival perspective, we do have the choice to be selective. Now, my question is, which I don't think there's enough data in this. What happens to because our gut is so connected to our mind and what's going on in our brain and our brain health in general. What happens to our gut and how it interacts with our brain and our psychological states when we deny such a traditionally pleasurable aspect of the omnivore's diet? What does that do? And what we see is that some people survive perfectly well in the vegan diet and they're able to do it no problem. And they're like, yeah, man, I feel so charged up, like I'm doing something good. I feel like I'm really.
Hold on, wait. Is there actually evidence that shows that not eating meat affects your mental state in a bad way?
Well, no, this is
causes you to go into depression.
What I can tell you is that we have evidence that people cut meat out of their diet and they need to return back because they are feeling mentally unwell with the change to their diet. So there's some kind of element of okay, this thing is missing. Some people are fine with it, and some people have enough what I would call pleasure, let's say pleasure replacement on the side, like on the vegan side. When you become part of, like, you find yourself in a position where you think your food choices are more ethical and your food choices are superior from a standpoint of well-being. I mean, we had Caitlin on the show the other day. First, I asked her, "Do you think your diet is superior to mine, like morally superior?" And then she first answered no, and then eventually answered yes. And I think most vegans do come to the conclusion that yes, I do actually believe that I have a more ethical, more moral diet going on in my life than you do as a meat eater. And that belief is a very powerful position to be in. It's a very powerful ideological position. You have risen up again. Yeah. You have. I'm almost done. You have risen up above what most of those around you are doing. You feel #woke.
Okay, so I want to clarify for a second. Are you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but are you saying that the reason people regress back into eating meat is because they feel like something is missing, like someone would when they're told when they cut out like sugar or carbs in their diet? Is that what you're equivocating it to?
Yeah. So there are a lot of things that come with eating meat, right? Generally, chewing meat. The things that our jaw really likes to chew meat, that act. Actually, just for the sake, for anyone that's interested, Michaela just posted, here's an article about how lack of meat impacts your mood. And it's just in the YouTube chat there. It looks like it's a Big Think article. But yeah, I still think there needs to be more investigation into, because the medical community is not going to adopt prescribing veganism as a healthy diet until it is demonstrated to be the ideally the diet you would have.
I'm not claiming it's going to be the ideal diet. I just said it doesn't have any adverse health effects.
Well, no, and that's not true because we see people fail at the vegan diet all the time, and they're claiming that I can't find the will to like get up off the couch. Like there's an inflammation of depression happening, and then the doctor will say, well, I think you need to go back to a regular diet, the thing that you've changed in your life is the vegan diet, so you don't seem to have the makeup to be able to survive in this.
Do you think that's because of our evolutionary history, or?
Well, yeah, it's because we're omnivores. It's not. It's look. We are trying something new with this experiment of vegetarianism and veganism as an omnivore. When you actually are walking by, think of the psychology of this. You're in the grocery store and you're walking by these things, and if you are one of these vegans that tries to get rid of meat, even though you love it and you salivate at the mouth when you see meat in the grocery store, but you're doing it for the ethics purpose. You want to take a stand against like cruelty against animals. By the way, there's not a meat eater I've ever met in my entire life that is okay with any animals undergoing any kind of demonstrable suffering. And most regulations are built around making sure animals are not going through demonstrable suffering. Not the thing of like, not the thing where people want to look at an animal and their own emotional knee-jerk reaction to how that animal is living, they think that looks like suffering. But I'm interested in the scientific demonstration that suffering is occurring.
Well, we do have scientific demonstrations. For example, in the dairy industry, right? So
we have we have a way to measure that, is what I'm saying. And when the people who know what to look for, who are given the checklist to go through and check out the factory farms to make sure they're adhering to the rules, this is when I take that clipboard to the vegan and say, this factory farm's been approved, that they're within the moral rights that we believe these animals should have. What in this checklist do you want to change? And then a lot of vegans say, these animals should be free. And it's like, no, look at the checklist. Tell us where you think the suffering is occurring.
Well, someone can easily say that the suffering is killing them. Why does it...
The suffering is what? Sorry?
Right? Someone could say that the suffering is killing them.
The suffering is killing them?
Yeah, like depriving them of their well-being by ending their life.
You're a little muffled there. Can you try one more time and just speak clearly?
Yeah, so someone could say that suffering could be that they are being killed. The deprivation of their well-being by being killed be seen as a form of suffering.
Yeah, so this is why we have different moral contracts with human beings than we do with any other animal, right? We say human beings always come first. Human beings always come first. For instance, saving the other person's baby, that's going to be a morally bankrupt decision, right?
I want to be careful with the answer to that, because if someone's dog worth more to them morally than their own dog could be worth morally than someone else's baby. So
yeah, so basically, Kaizen.
White answer right there.
Yeah, Kaizen. What I'm saying is that for good survival purposes, the rest of human society will look at you as a morally bankrupt piece of shit if you do not save. And do you think that's a good way for society to be shaped?
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think.
I'm just testing my internet speed. I'm having an issue. Own animals as our property, as slaves, and we don't allow that for human beings for the most part around the world anymore. And I say, yes, that's because we've decided that human beings being in the position of being able to do to shape the world in any way we want. We're the only beings interested or capable of doing that on this planet. So we've taken up the responsibility to create our own moral laws from animal to animal, with each group of animals individually. So we have a lot. We're okay with people killing mice and rats if they're dealing with an infestation. In general, we're okay with that, but we're not okay with people going out and killing street cats or killing street dogs. We find it morally reprehensible.
Yeah, okay, because the street cats and the street dogs aren't really a factor in your well-being or suffering, so it doesn't really matter.
They are. They actually are.
The street dogs and the street cats?
Yeah. So we have the things that we like in society. For instance, think about, there's a reason why if you see someone beating a street cat to death, there's a reason why, even if you didn't see it and you heard about it, there's a reason why you have a disgust reaction to that. It's there is the understanding and hearing about this isn't in, or this even happening isn't in the best interest of you when it comes to your well-being. And I'm talking about just like when you hear of a horrific thing happening, it's like hearing of horrific things. They may shape something in your knowledge or something like that, but in that moment of hearing it, it's like it is a detriment to your well-being. It's not a net positive.
Yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from with that one.
So the question I often ask is and this was the topic the last time we had this discussion on the air here. Do you think the act of eating meat is immoral?
No, I think the suffering that leads up to it is immoral, and potentially the way the animal is killed is immoral. Because if you look at things like halal meat, that is a clearly less moral way to kill an animal than to quickly kill it with like a shot to the head or stunning it before you cut it, right?
Yeah, I agree. So this stuff, so of course we can measure this scientifically and make a demonstrable claim about that thing causes more suffering in the animal than that thing. So all of these regulations have been created when it comes to farming in the United States. Now to mitigate suffering. Now, what laws do you want to change or upgrade based on the ones that are already in motion and being used to evaluate farming?
Okay, so before I answer that, I just want to clarify that I want to give an example on the previous point. So if an animal, if a deer had a good life, right, and they get run over by a car and they die, right, so they're roadkill.
Yeah.
I wouldn't personally eat the deer, but I wouldn't have a problem with someone else eating it. Yeah. Just because the deer had a good life and their death was swift, right?
By the way, Kaizen, deer don't live good lives. Prey don't live. Even predators, they're fighting for survival. They're worried about getting killed by a rival.
All right, so here is where we need to clear the murky water in this, because my point is that we shouldn't intentionally cause suffering to the animals, but in their natural state, whatever suffering happens is outside of my moral sphere.
Ah,
I just don't think it's moral to cause suffering to them.
right. So,
Or yeah,
so if you see a like a baby bear cub get ripped apart by wolves, you don't like. What does that do to your empathy and sympathy meters? Because I think there
I would
is a
definitely
moral. I
feel
think there is a
right.
moral calculation that happens there.
That's okay. So I think that's like that's a situational sort of So if I were to intervene, then I think that would be a sort of situational intervention instead of a whole like we need to stop them from suffering completely in the wild. You know what I mean? Because it's not often that you run into a pack of wolves tearing apart a baby bear.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
don't
all
witness it, but it happens a lot. Like all of this stuff, like wolves tearing apart little marmots and bunnies and things like this, and coyotes and the way a bear like bears killing things and things like that. It's like this happens all the time. The viciousness of nature and the survival game is not something the bunny enjoys. The bunny would be living a much more pampered life in the cage as someone's pet. They
I'm not
don't
against
want to
owning
be,
pets
the
though.
bunny doesn't want to be out there where predators can get it. It wants its best chance for survival, and being a human being's pet is that.
Right. So I'm not disagreeing that I'm not saying having a pet is immoral.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
no,
So
I'm just talking more to the thing of I think there's this naturalistic fallacy when it comes to the how
mhm.
people think about, you know, animals living in their natural environment. It's so beautiful and it's what they want. It's like you realize the function of this very simple compared to us little being. The function is purely food source, survival, make babies with some cuddle time in between with some of the more social species. But I just feel like in the vegan community they think of like they'll be like a cow would be so happy out out there uh, grazing out in the wild with nothing around. It's like no, it's being taken care of by a farmer is in general a great life for a cow.
well, this comes back to the question on whether you consider suffering outside of your control to be
Right. And
immoral.
look,
Right. So
I think Kaizen, and it's not to say that there aren't asshole idiot farmers who abuse their animals unnecessarily. Those people are typically reported and caught by authorities as soon as someone gets a whiff of that, and it happens. And it happens. These hobby farm people that there's this like skin and bones cow on their property that's not getting enough water and you know it's just it's living a suffered life, and we can look at that and say yes, this required intervention. But yeah, it's like I just hear this naturalistic fallacy come in all the time, and it tends to be people who have never looked into anything to do with the wild and how animals actually live and fight for survival in the wild. I think it's yeah, it's got naturalistic fallacy all over it.
all right. Well, this I wanted to touch base with what you asked earlier about the laws. Right. So we have, I don't think we're doing all that we can to stop the suffering of the animals. I think we're largely underestimating the amount of suffering because if you go into something like the dairy industry, you have chickens that are bred specifically for laying eggs that become so you have chickens that are bred for laying eggs and for for meat, right? So the chickens that are bred for meat are so fat that they can't stand up on their own, and they're in constant pain from the moment they reach a certain size to the moment they die.
Oh, okay. So
And I think that
that's the part
right,
I would like So has that been demonstrated that they are in constant pain from this moment on?
Yes, when they reach a certain size where their body can't handle their weight anymore and they collapse, they can't walk anymore, they're in constant pain from that point forward.
Okay, yeah. So if an animal is being used where we can demonstrate that they are in constant pain, that should be rectified, and a technology should be created that can fix that, because that's a problem. That's a moral problem.
Right. These are like practices used widely, and these are practices used commonly in factory farms. This is
Okay.
how this term of like the factory farming,
Yeah.
right? The industrialization of farming, like fast producing meat, eggs, milk, all that good stuff,
Yeah.
right? All these methods are used to maximize production, and they are way more widespread
Okay.
than people are led on to.
Okay.
So,
So now we have what you're claiming is we have the scientific is demonstration, right? Now, what has the
mhm.
response been from the legislators? They just don't. They don't think the scientific is demonstration is enough to demonstrate that these chickens are actually suffering. Like, they disagree with the conclusions of the data, or are they saying we are simply okay with that level of suffering in chickens?
It
Like,
could be either
I would
or.
like to
Okay,
know,
so
because that's the most important thing out of all this. Anyone can sit back and say that should change, this should change it, but I want to know where it's at, and if there's an actual disagreement or argument, or it just hasn't been talked about yet, or is there actually a law on the books that, let's say, vegans don't know about, that does protect about against these uh, demonstrable situations?
okay, so yeah, I agree with you there, where it's important to identify why where the lawmakers are differing in stance on this, and why there's no laws. I'm pretty sure there aren't any laws against stuff like this. Like, there's multiple other things besides the overweight chicken thing,
Yeah.
that I think the scientific evidence is clear, and either they don't care enough, or they think the threshold of suffering is okay, or it just hasn't been talked about enough. So those three, I think, are the main, could be the main reasons. But what do you think the proposed solution should be to those?
Well, I would say it needs to be sorted out. Like, if there is, if someone's determining that this is a reasonable level of suffering because of
Hmm.
the of let's say because of the amount of well-being derived for humanity is so great, there is a calculation there. For instance, if if we found that the cure for all cancer came out of the nostrils of a suffering pig, I've used this example. If we found out that the cure for cancer kind of frothed out of the snout of a suffering pig as it's hung upside down, and this special substance that comes out, the more the pig suffered, the more we got out of its snout to actually administer to all of the people suffering from cancer around the world, and we could demonstrate that that was the case. This, in my moralistic foundation, all of the pigs around the world suffering for this cause is 100% acceptable.
I want to say,
And I would go as
yeah,
far
I
as to
think I
say
would
this,
agree.
Kaizen. I would go to say, if anyone disagrees with me in that hypothetical, I think that would be a morally bankrupt position to be holding.
Right. So I agree with you, but at the same, so hmm, I'm trying to think where I could go next with this.
I think I might just let you go there, Kaizen, and clear up the line. But I really enjoyed the exchange. Did you get your questions? Is it more clear how I think about veganism?
Yeah, most of my doubts were answered here. I might pick your brain some more on the Discord, but for the most part, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
All right, this is fun.
Thanks
See
for
ya.
the call. That was Kaizen, guys. Say hi to Kaizen in the Discord. Join us on Discord. But the line is open. Next caller, I am ready for you. I'll be live for a while here. We can talk about anything. God, gods, veganism, sex. Do you believe in ghosts? Tell me your ghost story. Tell me why you think there are ghosts. Do you think that a mainstream scientific accepted theory is bogus? Do you believe that the globe is flat? Send me your friends that believe the globe is flat, or that we haven't been to the moon, or that there's aliens flying around this planet, or that aliens have visited this planet. Yeah, I look forward to more calls to get the juices flowing a little bit. Trump is not a racist. Biden is not a pedophile. I'm an atheist. There's some claims for you guys. We got a lot going on in the chat. Looks like you guys are having some wicked conversations. Welcome back, Nikola Tesla. Such an important figure in human history. I thank you for all of your great work. Painless! Welcome, welcome. And King Squid, everyone's kicking it around. Love it, love it, love it. Natheist A. Nice to see you. Make sure you guys are subscribed, but more importantly, hit the notification bell or you will never see these live streams. Never, ever, ever. It ain't going to happen. You'll never see them. I'm just going to open up my my Facebook here and send these to a few more people. Guys, please become an official Pangburn subscriber. We have a new subscription program. pang-burn.com/subscription. Please support what we do at Pangburn. We're live on the air almost every day, bringing you guys new content every day. And it does take resources to make this, keep this going and make this happen. So please consider being an official Pangburn subscriber. We are going to be putting up all of the awesome perks that will come with becoming a Pangburn subscriber. One of the perks is that you get to do a one-on-one meeting if you want every month with me. That can be you can record it, or it can just be audio call, whatever you want. And I will be doing little events, sharing events, kind of like a book club that includes the author who wrote the book. We're going to be doing a thing like that just for subscribers, and it'll just be like our group of subscribers and this famous author talking about their book and the things they think, and you will be able to jump in with a question, and this will be done through voice chat and video chat, so you'll get a lot of access to your favorite intellectuals. But that's that's one of the other perks, and I think we're going to, every time someone becomes a subscriber, they'll become like an honorary mug club member. We are going to start a Pangburn mug club, and so you can have your Pangburn mug while you sit down in your intellectual warm blanket and engage in conversations. But yeah, the line is open, guys. Kaizen says, GG Pangburn, I'll come at you again soon. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. And yeah, it's the thing with veganism is it may in fact be a more ethical food choice to make, a more morally sound if you're just looking at the dollars and cents of it decision. But you have to understand that I am not convinced that every human being can just do this. I think if people can get off on the virtue payback that you get from society and peers around you and the way you feel about yourself now that you're a vegan, if that pleasure that you get from that that inspiration is strong enough, the meat loss from your diet isn't missed in the same way. That's kind of what I see of the whole dietary choice, omnivores trying to mute things from their diet. And we have to do it sometimes because we become allergic to things. But, in those cases, I think, in medicine, they are determining that you shouldn't eat this thing because it's a detriment to your well-being. So we're going to build your life, your diet around so that we find good replacements for that thing you used to like eating. It was a regular part of your diet. And the what's it called? The fake meat patties that like A&W does. They're actually quite good, but they don't give you the same feeling and satisfaction as meat. I know some people say like, "Oh, I felt just as full as I did when I was eating," but not fullness isn't the only thing that you get from meat. Nikola Tesla says at Pangburn, I appreciate your openness for debate and discussion. I have to go. Cheers, everyone. Thanks, Tesla. Thanks for coming back. Hit that like button, guys. Let's hit the like button. You can do it. Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm excited to get this to a point where we do have a constant stream of callers, but I do have to be patient because this is only our second time doing it, and it's on a Sunday, and I know people got shit going on Sundays. So, but we are playing at different times. That scared me. Hey, you're on Test Your Skepticism with Travis Pangburn. How's it going?
Good. Hi, this is King Squid.
Who is that? Sorry.
King Squid. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, it's Squid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you just fine. What do you got for me today?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was talking about perhaps conservatism, what you told me to call in, but I'm not sure I agree with you fully on the veganism thing. So I don't know what you want to talk about on the show. But
yeah, I mean, wherever you want to go, I guess a good place to start is tell me what you believe and why with regards to anything, really. Maybe go with your most outlandish belief that you can't seem to shake, or it's a thing you think, like maybe you believe in a god, maybe you believe that there's a spirit realm, or that there's a soul that we haven't yet been able to measure in human beings. But yeah, whatever you want, man.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say if my beliefs are outlandish, because I don't know if I'd hold them if I thought they were outlandish. But I don't know, something that perhaps is a little bit more out there. It could perhaps be like the multiverse hypothesis. I think that might be true, actually. And I'm aware there's no evidence of the empirical sort for that. So
right. And the multiverse theory is interesting because it starts becoming a bit of a language thing where it's like, okay, are we talking about multiverses as okay, there's one big mass of space, and then we have these bubble universes popping up everywhere. That's kind of, but is it really are we calling that multiverse, or is it just like, another Big Bang happening just in different areas within this same space, within this same reality? And would you say you fully subscribe to that? Like, you think that that's the case, or do you think that there's compelling evidence for that, or it's just an interesting theory?
I find it somewhat compelling. So I've read Max Tegmark's Mathematical Universe. Yeah. Which essentially the postulation is that every mathematically consistent universe exists, right? And I find that kind of compelling, actually.
What is the claim? Sorry?
That every mathematically consistent universe exists.
Right. Any universe that could exist does exist.
So I don't know how well I'm going to be able to defend that. It's not. I don't think it's very easy to poke holes in or defend, but it's just. Right. conceptually for me, it seems like the math is already out there in a sense. Like when we do math, we're discovering math in some sense, right? So like, and if these universes are entirely described by math, in a sense, are we discovering them? Like, what does it mean to exist beyond just this is what would happen if we had these mathematical laws of physics and then set everything in motion, right? That's out there to be discovered, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting question when people say like, if only the laws of physics were this way and not that way. It almost like we're presupposing that that's possible. You know, it's like sure, in theory, we could see a matrix creator, say we are in the matrix, and the matrix creator says, oh, okay, gravity is not a thing anymore. We're going to replace gravity with magnetism, and we're going to make this aspect, or let's say we're going to make carbon magnetic with let's just say shale rock. So the way that a human being would stay linked to the earth would be you have to stay walking on shale rock and allow magnetism to suck your foot down, and then you take the next step, and then you take the next step. It's like, yeah, I think you can start playing with those things if you put yourself in the matrix creator position. And yeah, there are quite a few different realities that kind of can exist, and we even see it like on the moon. It's like the moon has a different gravitational pull, and it really does affect the reality of those entities that find themselves living on the moon.
No, yeah. And the thing about computers or like simulations, a computer is just a big math crunching machine, right? So I don't even think the computer is necessary, but it is a useful way to think about it. It's that the computer is doing all the complicated math to, in a sense, discover what would happen if the laws of physics were different. And it's not inventing it, it's discovering it in some very real sense.
Right. And it seems like because the way the cosmos is essentially created is through this evolutionary process based on the laws of physics. On the evolutionary process on the very large scale, okay, the Big Bang velocity, the velocity of the Big Bang essentially dictates how I'm moving my hand right now because of determinism. It's like nothing gets to escape the laws of physics. Nothing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting to think about, like, does this universe that I'm currently inhabiting exist anymore than, say, the universe where there was an extra proton in the Big Bang? Because everything about that universe is in some sense equally discoverable, right? I'm not sure what the difference is. I don't know. I just think it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, totally. It just fills me with scientific and artistic inspiration to think about these very large, the concepts of the very large, and how they connect and communicate with the concepts of the very small. And that's what got me interested in working on the unifying theory, the equation that kind of connects connects everything, right? The small equation that theoretical physicists dream of. And my hypothesis that I'm working on is called the state of potential hypothesis, where it's like it just works from the fundamental claim that everything is a state of potential. So looking at things in the states that they are, the shutter speed of existence, being able to pause at each moment and talk about the states of potential that exist when we're thinking about the following step or the potential steps. I've been going down this rabbit hole of this theory and playing with math and relearning some math and figuring out the best way to communicate this in a mathematical principle in an equation. But I think it's very simple, and I think it's a claim that I can even make that escapes it's an absolutist claim I can make, and I can't find many that you can make that escapes the matrix hypothesis from a philosophical standpoint. And this one is kind of like, you can still claim everything is a state of potential, even if the matrix hypothesis, as soon as you're about to make that claim, changes everything so that there are no states of potential, or that not everything is a state of potential. But the matrix controller themselves cannot escape the fact that they are in a state of potential as the controller.
Yeah. Would you say you believe in the matrix or the simulation hypothesis?
No, I don't think there's any evidence to. I think the fact that it's possible should have us bite our tongues from making absolute certain claims about anything, except for possibly everything is a state of potential. But I think we need evidence to adopt positive claims, and there isn't any evidence that we are living in a simulation.
I mean, you also just said, and you said it's possible, and I'm actually not so sure it's possible, but that's I think a related but different topic.
Yeah, I think because we can conceptualize it, like it's the same reason that a god, I think, is possible, but the plausibility level is 0. I think, just like the matrix hypothesis, I think the plausibility is 0 because there's no evidence positive for the existence of any of that. Just like, there's no evidence positive for invisible fairies flying around my head right now, but it is possible. But that's why I'm more interested in plausibility than I am in possibility, because everything is essentially possible.
Well, yeah, so it seems to me like you're using the term possible in a similar sense as the term conceivable. And
sure, yeah.
I understand that, yeah. But when I would say it, I tend to use it to mean something different, as in possible is a tighter restriction than conceivable. As in we can conceive of some things that are not possible, such as, I don't know if like the God concept, like a mind without a body, I don't know if that's possible, right? That's what I mean when I would say it.
The only reason why, and this is where the matrix hypothesis comes in to interrupt you. It says that it just says that you think that this is not possible because it's not in tune with the way the laws of physics work, but a matrix controller can affect all of that. Everything inside the matrix is just computer programming. So because it's possible that a matrix controller could create such a vast, intricate version of The Sims, that the Sims characters are actually living as we are. And for instance, it's possible that you and I we just sprouted into existence a moment ago with all of the environmental ingrainment that we have based on our life experience is just as it is right now, and we just picked up from this spot. But it's not plausible.
Okay, yeah. So I think we're in agreement here. We're just using slightly different terms to describe it. Yeah.
Right.
But so something I might want to challenge on is, you said that like the Sims could get so advanced that one day there's like truly conscious beings in there. I think I might be actively convinced that that's not possible. Right.
Sorry. Can you repeat that one more time? I was just responding to something.
Yeah, I said I'm not sure it's ever possible with computers in any form, even any advanced form that we have them today, with like memory and processors, and no matter how advanced they get, to have truly conscious beings inside of them. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, well, I can imagine a Matrix writer, and I'm talking imagine a Matrix writer and programmer that exists 10 billion years in the future from where we are right now.
Right. I think it's impossible with software as we have it today. It has to be hardware.
Yes, yeah, of course. Like the software in which everything works today. But can you imagine, like, I don't know if you can see me on the screen right now, but if I'm able to go like this with my mind, and my mind manipulates this, let's say, veil over reality, that's this new new version of the cloud where I can just manipulate it and pull things, and sometimes it can be illusionary, or you can make it actual, like you pick up things around you and you're able to mold them and change the actual functions of them, because they actually are very realistic holograms, and hologram version of things are actually more the things that people use more, not actual versions of them. So it's, I think where technology can go is quite interesting. But I'm going to let you go there, and I really appreciate your call, dude. I hope you subscribe and join us on Discord. Oh, I think you already hung up. Well, thanks for the call. I think we got disconnected at the end there, but yeah, anyone else who's available, if you guys do want to add me on Skype, those of you who are in different parts of the world, just download Skype, and I'll give you my Skype ID here, so you have the right here. Here's my Skype ID, and then you guys can just use your Wi-Fi to call in. Yeah. So I just dropped my Skype ID in the chat there. So feel free to add me, say hi. I'll accept you as a friend, and then we can connect over voice chat. That's interesting. I love talking and learning and invoking skepticism to help navigate through the is claims that are made by science, and see and making some inferences from those, and then going to war with those and seeing what can come about it. Alpha, I see you waving at me in the chat here. Yeah, give me a call. Call me. And guys, add me on Skype anyway. We should be connected on Skype. Who uses Skype anymore? I don't know. I just use it for this number. It's Sunday. Hello, Alpha. How's it going? Welcome to Test Your Skepticism.
Hey.
Oh.
How are you?
Try again.
Hello?
Hey, yeah, you're
Hi.
coming through clear.
Jesus, it worked. Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. It worked.
No, I'm a Muslim, actually. I'm a Muslim.
Oh,
Thank
you are?
you, Allah.
Oh, okay.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I came to talk about free will.
Free will?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think free will has been demonstrated to exist. I don't think that's been demonstrated. Do you think we have free will?
I do.
Okay, and
Wait,
can you make
give
it
me a second. Just
Yeah, go ahead.
give me a second. Free will is the ability to take a decision that might be manipulated to some extent.
Okay, and why do you think human beings can make a decision?
We already do.
So
I took the decision.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. I took the decision to talk to you. You took the decision to answer.
Well, it depends on what you mean by that, because if we're talking in the actual is sense of what's going on in the human brain, that impulse to do that and to call me and the way you're engaging right now, that's all happening to you. You're not dictating any of that. That's what neuroscience tells us anyway.
Are you referring to the study that shows that we have a 10-second delay of decision?
Well, not just that, but it's like sit here and try to interpret the next thing that is going to manifest in your mind.
Let me
we can't do it.
Just give me. Can I debunk first that article?
Yeah, go ahead.
Choose a number.
Let's go with 3.
That didn't take you 10 seconds. I asked you, you answered. There's no way.
Yeah,
there's no possible way you predicted that I would ask you that question.
I don't know where you got this 10-second delay thing, but I've never even heard that before. But what's going on is that you asked me a question, and the selection, the process to select 3, I had nothing to do with that. This is just the emergent quality, the emergent selection quality for whatever reason why 3 was picked. And this is the fundamental question I seek to answer in my first book about my pleasure drive hypothesis is what is the thing, like why is 3 selected here and not 10 or any other number I could have selected?
They're all equally pointless.
Well, they're not. They're not pointless because they're going through our software.
If you choose 3 or 17,000, there's no difference.
No, there is, because do you know one of the reasons why I picked 3 is because I always used to wear number 3 on the back of my jersey in hockey. 3 always used to be my quote unquote lucky number. So the software environmental aspects of numbers and how we relate to them actually does come into consideration in this feedback loop between our software and our hardware.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, no, I find that fascinating. The fundamental question of like, okay, I understand that, but how come that?
How about chess?
Yeah, and chess is a crazy one.
No, you're critically thinking about the best move, but you don't always make the best move.
Right, 100%. Because I think people, when you actually look at the game of chess, the amount of possible chess games is like in the, isn't it in like the trillions of the amount of possible chess games that can be played. So it's like I think we do our best. People who have a very high IQ, a very fast calculating engine running, are very good at being able to think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves ahead. But yeah, it's like we generally, most people can only think 1 move ahead or 2, and it's like when we develop computers that can do like 8, 9, or 10 moves ahead, it's hard to compete with that because you're liable to make a mistake. So you said you're a Muslim. Why are you a Muslim?
Why you're an atheist?
Well, I can explain that. But do you want to answer mine first?
I'm using the same way. Dawkins uses when he gets asked, "What if you're wrong?"
Oh, so you subscribe to Pascal's wager?
No. What happens is when Dawkins, Richard Dawkins, gets asked the question, "What if you're wrong?" He repeats the question, "What if you're wrong?"
Right. So I didn't ask that. I just asked like why you're a Muslim. Like what convinced you that first of all, Allah is. I assume you believe Allah is real, exists.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So first of all, why do you believe the Bronze Age peasants who wrote down the Quran to tell you that Allah is God? Why do you trust those people who wrote it down?
I know I'm gonna sound cliche, but the way the Quran is written, it's just some next level shit.
It what? Sorry.
The way the Quran is written, it's like just to in an Arabic. I speak Arabic.
Yep.
As an Arabic speaker, it's too good. It's too good for its own good.
What is so good about it? And why does that relate to, like, if it's really good, doesn't that just mean the Bronze Age peasants that wrote it down had a really good imagination?
The Prophet Muhammad was illiterate.
Okay.
How can someone who is illiterate write that good?
Well, first of all, why do you think Muhammad wrote it at all?
He didn't. Mostly not.
Right.
But for him to think about it, just out.
It what?
And
Sorry?
for him to.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
For him to be consistent for 23 years in the Quran, right?
Okay, but you know, someone being
him,
consistent for 23 years isn't an indication of divinity.
No, but the Quran was given to him 5 ayat at a time.
Okay, so
for him to be for him to make 5 ayat and tell the people, put this ayah between this ayah and this ayah.
Yeah.
He's really consistent.
Right, but what does consistency have to do with like you can be consistent with your flat Earth belief, right? And it doesn't make it any more true.
No, for him, I'm not saying that it is true, but I'm saying that his consistency as someone who is illiterate that can't write and tell the people around him to put has an exact memory, or at least has an exact view where that ayah should be put in. It's something abnormal.
Yeah. Okay. So it's an argument for you had someone who was illiterate but but was able to talk about ideas and seems to be very, very smart and wise. Is what you might say.
That's not the point. No, that's not the point. The point is, let's name the ayah chapter so I can speak more easily. That's okay?
Yeah, sure.
If I for 23 years was given other people 5 chapters at a time and tell people that this chapter should be put in this position, in this exact position, and still being consistent without forgetting a single thing, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's evidence. That would be evidence of maybe genius, right? Maybe. But impressive, sure. But again, how does impressive get us to this is all divinely inspired and from a god?
That's not the only evidence. You realize that.
Right, but that's not even evidence of anything. What you're going to get is drawing a conspiratorial line system where you're going to use this little piece of evidence that doesn't demonstrate the actual existence, then you're going to use this piece, and this piece. But I'm just asking for, like, as a skeptic, I need if you're going to make an is claim, the scientific method and skeptical inquiry is how we evaluate is claims.
You want an evidence for God?
Sure.
No, you're asking me that that doesn't prove anything. Do you want the direct evidence for God?
Sure.
Perfect time to show up, big guy.
What's that?
I was talking to God. Perfect time to show up.
Oh. I'm gonna have a stroke on the air now, and then we'll all know that Allah is real.
Yes.
And what about all
evil.
this? What about marrying Aisha?
It's quite a big debate in the Islamic community.
Yeah. Why was he having sex with a 9-year-old?
People don't agree that he had sex with a 9-year-old. You realize that?
They don't what? Sorry.
Not all Muslims agree that he had sex with a 9-year-old.
Oh, so they're willing to apply skepticism there, But when it comes to the whole foundation of their religion, their skepticism disappears and it's replaced by faith.
Exactly.
But don't you think that's crazy? I like
Kinda. Yeah.
and I mean we shouldn't.
Yes, kinda. That doesn't shake. That doesn't actually shake my. What?
How? But why? Because
Hello?
like, hey, like you like if you're gonna go to the hospital or if an ambulance is gonna pick you up because you've gotten a car accident, you want to know that the medicine they're using has been demonstrated scientifically to work, right? So you rely on the scientific
No.
is there, but and then all of a sudden, like when it
You
comes to this
primarily
thing,
trust the doctor. You primarily trust the doctor to not give you some bad shit.
right? But the doctor is basing what he is administering to you based on the scientific method.
I'm all for scientific method. I love science. And
Right.
math.
So are you? Because it seems like you are trying to maybe make an actual is demonstration of a law, but you don't have the evidence. So why don't you just say that your belief is 100% faith based?
It is faith-based.
Okay. Yeah, so with faith-based beliefs, my definition of faith is the excuse you give for believing something when you have no good reason to give. And I know a lot of people that use this definition of faith as well. Do you agree that you don't have a good reason to give for why you believe in the Muslim God, and you just give faith as an excuse because you have nothing else to give?
Not necessarily.
Not
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Do you think math was discovered or invented?
Math? Math is a
Yes.
Math is a language we use to talk about.
To understand the universe.
Yeah. It's the language we've created. The labels, the individual labels we've created to be able to communicate about quantities of things and how those things manifest in reality. So it's a language we've created, but you could create all kinds of different languages to communicate with the mathematical is things that are going on in the cosmos.
If I ask you this question, what is the sum total of all positive numbers? All positive integers?
I think that answer would be infinite.
Quantum physics doesn't agree.
Right. So, although quantum physics shouldn't be making these claims, really, if someone's going to make a claim, a positive claim that infinite isn't possible, I would say, well, it seems to be that.
No. The sum total of all positive integers in quantum physics is minus 1 out of 12.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm my math ignorance got in the way there. I thought you were just.
It's okay.
Yeah. I thought it was.
I
thought you
math.
were talking about the
advanced math, boy.
endless sum math, but I'm not a mathematician, so.
I study math for a living.
Cool.
I study math. I love math.
Okay, cool. So so you would expect you're saying that there's a negative amount of energy in the cosmos. Is that the argument you're making?
No. The argument that I'm making is that math is quite limited. Of course, not limited in the human sense. Math is gigantic, but still limited. It's clearly contradicting itself.
No, it actually leads. Math gives us the best possible results for predicting things, and math is used in the scientific method.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that,
But to say math is
But
limited,
saying-
it's like
but
we
saying-
just might have not made the proper equations to demonstrate the thing that you think it's limited to. Yeah, like
Can you give me a second? Bring a pen and paper.
yeah, if you
Can I
want to grab
go
a,
bring a pen?
if you want to grab a pen and paper, that's fine. But none of this math stuff that you're talking about. Like if you're gonna say that, like, oh, there seems to be something out there that we don't understand. It's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm willing to buy that. There are things out there that we don't understand, but we understand a hell of a lot about how almost everything works and is functioning. But there are still some fundamental unanswered questions. But if you're gonna say, like, you know, God is the gap thing that we're missing here, you still have to demonstrate God.
The existence of God. If a God, let's just say for a second that God existed. Okay?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Just for 1 second.
Yeah.
If God gave a perfect explanation of something, would that make the existence of a God plausible?
Say that again.
Let's just say God exists for a second.
Yeah.
If God gave a perfect explanation for the existence of something, is it plausible that God exists?
Well, in this hypothetical, you started off by saying, let's assume God exists.
Yeah,
so in
it's
the hypothetical,
a
God
hypothetical
exists.
situation.
But in the hypothetical,
hypothetical
you
situation.
actually said God exists, so God does exist. It's not plausible. God actually does exist.
But I didn't. I didn't say he exists.
You started off by saying, let's assume God exists.
No, that's. But we don't know that.
Okay, we don't know it, but God.
We don't know it. Neither I.
So why
nor
start
you
off?
know that God exists.
Why start off? The
I believe you
hypothetical
don't.
That way? Well, I don't make the see. Okay, let me just.
You don't believe in the existence. Just a second. You don't believe in the existence of God. I do. I have to prove to you that God exists.
Yeah, the burden of proof is on you. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I watched Stephen Woodford. Let's go back to the math point.
Here, I just before we do that, I just want to explain what my atheism is, just so you understand. Atheism.
The atheism is absence of religion. I know.
Well, it's a lack of belief in your claim, right, about God's existing. So you say this God exists, and I'm like, oh, cool. Show me how you came to know that. And what you bring me, I consider to be zero sum, no positive evidence for the existence of God, or you might say, or I might say it's just bad evidence, if you want to, and that's all
Travis,
atheism is. But I'm also able to say to you with very high level of confidence the same that gods do not exist just as much as Santa Claus does not exist. Is it possible Santa Claus exists?
How
Sure.
dare you say Santa Claus doesn't exist?
I know, when we're getting close to Christmas, all I'm getting is a lump of coal. For sure. Yeah. So I am
Good
interested
point.
about your math stuff, but I wanted to just outline what what my position is, and I think there's just as much evidence for the existence of Santa Claus as there are for any of the gods that have ever been presented, which I would say when it comes to things that we would consider to be evidence of this claim of existence, not what people are just calling evidence, like, oh, I found like an unfalsifiable language trick that shows that my God exists. It's like that's not evidence. But yeah,
that makes a good point.
Yeah.
If there's something that someone can do that other humans can't, and he claims that that thing is happening because of God, he has a good point.
Yeah, it's just anytime anyone makes a positive claim, it's like people just go off crazy, not thinking that they have to demonstrate claims, and they think that all claims are made equally, and it's just what I call claim vomit. But and usually getting into these theistic conversations, people want to dive into the actual theology, and that's fine. Some of it's interesting, but a lot of it is just barbarism and crap, like all of this hating of homosexuals and things like this.
Wait.
Yeah.
I don't hate homosexuals.
Right. No, I didn't. I'm just saying some people when they read
just clear my name, Bob.
Some people who read these texts, you understand that they will take a fundamental view when it says, "Thou shalt not lay with a man like a man layeth with a woman, or he shall be stoned to death." And they say, "Oh, okay. Well, I think we should be."
We need to stone him to death. Yeah. yeah. I deal with them a lot over here.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, whereabouts are you from?
Let's keep it a secret.
Okay, that's fine.
You don't mind.
Well, I hope you call back again. I'll be doing this every.
I quite enjoyed this.
Yeah, I did too. I really did. Now we're connected on Skype, so I hope you call back again. I'll be live again next Sunday. But Alpha Lorda, thank you very much. Peace.
Goodbye.
Yeah. That was Alpha Lorda, everyone. The line is now open again. Interesting conversation. I would say typical religious believer. No evidence to bring to the table to demonstrate the gods or the God that he believes exists. And the things that are presented as evidence are often the God of the gaps argument, where it's like, don't you think it's interesting that this thing and this thing and that? Like, that's impressive. I wonder why that is. And then you start thinking like, you start realizing that they're saying like these things that seem mysterious that we might not yet understand. You have to invoke God in order to be able to explain this thing. But you really don't need to do that. It's better to just say, I know. It gray legs and walked away says, I don't know a Christian that hates homosexuals. They're going to claim that I don't hate homosexuals. God hates homosexuals. And we're here to deliver that message to you so that you can find your way out of this hell-bound trail that you're on. The Westboro Baptist Church does this as well. But it's a bunch of it's just crap. And when you say you don't know a Christian that hates homosexuals, like the Westboro Baptist Church, right? You know that like the proclamations that people make, people who say I don't agree with homosexuality, you might say, okay, it's not hate. But yeah. But the lines are open, folks. I will take a few more calls. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you become an official Pangburn subscriber, pang-burn.com/subscription. We're going to shower you in gifts and cool opportunities if you become a Pangburn subscriber. We're also taking your guys' feedback as to what you want to see in the Pangburn subscription model. So I hope you do join us there. And then people get into the no true Scotsman fallacy, no true Christian fallacy, when they say, well, those aren't real Christians, when really the Christians point at the Bible and say, it's very clear God wants homosexuals killed. It's very clear here, clear as crystal. If you don't take your own subjective moral interpretation of God's word and you just read what God is telling you, then you ought to be out there like the Westboro Baptist Church with your God hates fags signs and shaking them in people's faces, trying to turn them away from this hell-bound road they find themselves on. and come over and listen to the word of the Lord, and he will cure you of your homosexual tendencies. Yeah. Um, I'm out of water. It grew legs and walked in. I hope you call in. I might miss a call, but I'm going to quickly fill up my water. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Oh, I must announce, Kaizen and Michaela have been working hard on our new Pangburn merch shop. So there's going to be Pangburn merch coming. We'll be doing contests to give away merch. Lots of contesting on this channel. And if you want to not miss out on this, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our live streams or contests. Michaela says just Kaizen, but you've been working with them too. But yeah, hit the like button on this stream. It really helps us out, guys. I don't think I had any missed calls when I was gone. No. Okay, cool. Well, a couple of interesting calls. We've talked veganism. We've talked Islam, God. So you're just inventing hate based on the most extreme example. It's not an extreme example, Grew Legs. People reading and taking the Bible on what it literally says, a lot of people think that this is what Christians should be doing, as opposed to making their own, metaphorical interpretation of this thing and what it might mean. It's like, no. You're playing with fire if you do that, and it's hellfire. And you better be doing exactly what it literally says in the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament. Jesus didn't abolish the laws of the prophets. Jesus came to fulfill them in the New Testament. You say that's not the standard at all. Interesting. Well, I hope Grew Legs and Walked Away calls in. It would be great to have this conversation live on the air. And if you don't know who I am, I like engaging in good faith discussions, just like you heard between me and Alpha Lorda, who is a Muslim. I would love to talk to you about Christianity. Michaela Miller says the only problem with fundamental Christianity is the fundamentals of Christianity. 100%. It grew legs and walked away. Almost all Christians I have ever met say hate the sin, not the sinner. Yeah. Why should anyone care what Bronze Age peasants wrote down and are claiming is a sin? Why should anyone care about that? Can you demonstrate that there is anything divine about this word? Or is it just a bunch of things Iron Age peasants wrote down? Yeah, why? Kaizen asks a good question. Why hate homosexuality? Yeah, it isn't demonstrably immoral. Why hate sodomy? They find it immoral. Interesting. Kaizen and Walked Away are having a conversation. It would be great to get you guys live on the air. I should actually probably have the chat running up in the screen as well. I'll update that for next time. Here we go. Okay, they say they find it immoral. Kaizen says, okay, who do they find, or why do they find it immoral? Doesn't impact anyone except the people partaking in the act. And then It Grew Legs and Walked Away says, because it is corruption of the flesh. Demonstrate that. Morality is about not giving in to the flesh. What a warped view of morality. Wow, it would be really interesting to have a conversation with It Grew Legs and Walked Away. What an interesting YouTube label to be wearing. Love it. Phone lines open, guys. Give me a call, 1-940-580-2114, or you can actually just add me on Skype and call me through there, through your Wi-Fi. Don't even need to use your phone. Yeah, so if you're going to make a claim that it is corruption of the flesh, then you have to demonstrate that is claim. Yeah. Michaela Miller says sex is imperative to human survival. Laugh my ass off. Smart person asks for the link to the Discord. Michaela, if you could drop that, that would be wicked. Everyone say hi to Michaela, by the way. Michaela does such a great job. She has to deal with all kinds of stuff. Managing the Discord and moderating and managing people is the hardest gig going, and she does it very well. And she's only 25. She's going to be a superstar. Superstar. She's going to be terrific, tremendous. The greatest of people. No people like her. No one can manipulate a cube like her. She's really into Rubik's Cubes. Smart person says, do you think social media algorithms contribute anything to the idea that free will is an illusion? The amount of control they have over us is crazy. I don't think the algorithms have, well, interesting, Smart. I like this. Smart person says, do you think social media algorithms contribute anything to the idea that free will is an illusion? Well, the algorithms work within the laws of physics, right? So the algorithms couldn't have been any other way. They just are the way they are. They're predetermined to be that way. So it just becomes part of what emerges due to the velocity of the Big Bang. But I think I think like all of these things, we do tend to think of free will only within our own scope, but technology and our environment, everything we interact with, the wind, the temperature, everything affects how we are moving through existence. So you're saying, I'm more saying, does it support the idea, that it's an illusion? No, I think that's just an argument that in the normal way that we think of being convinced of things, it's very good at showing us advertising and things almost as if it's reading our mind, because the algorithms, the predictability of these algorithms have gotten so good that it's like, it feels like Facebook's listening to you on your phone, but instead of jumping to that conspiratorial thing that you have no evidence for, you need to look at the actual science of how these very detailed algorithms are created. Simple things that people don't think of is when you're scrolling down Facebook like I'm doing right now, the algorithms that are learning your tendencies are paying very much attention to where you tend to hover your mouse over, the things that cause you to pause your scroll, and how long do you pause it for, and does your mouse move over it? Like all of these things while interacting on these sites are recorded and used to better put things in front of you that you want or are going to be thinking of. Oh, well, that's interesting. Why isn't that allowing me to see that whole thing? Oh, okay. Interesting. Kaizen says, Travis, I'm going to probably come at you with the semi-compatibilism next week. Be ready. Bring it on, brother. Bring your mitts. Going down. Yeah, Dan Prager says, wish I could join Discord. Beware if you are cynical, quote, you can get banned. Yeah, it's three strikes within 24 hours, and then you call me you allude to me being a liar because you may be working with a separate definition of what soon means than I am. Yeah, you're bad faith, man. You're bad faith all over the place. So you get banned. But feel free to come back. Just take some time. Get rid of your cynicism and get rid of your what seems to be a bit of Pangburn derangement syndrome, and then come back and engage in a helpful way. And engaging in bad faith and snark and incredible levels of snark is not acceptable. It's not in good faith. It's not helpful. So yeah, learn a little something, Dan. Come back. Puddington says, Jesus can help you love vagina if you accept him into your heart. Oh my God. Puddington, I was wondering where the hell Puddington was. Puddington's always here. Kaizen says, it's scientifically proven that you can't just not be gay. Yeah. I think it's been demonstrated that people don't choose their sexual orientation. They are their sexual orientation. It's part of what I call their hardware. And within this orientation, I think there are also hardware-like branches or predispositions to certain things when it comes to sex that people have and other people's don't. It's getting more into the genetics conversation, but it's very interesting. It fascinates me. What are the things that people, the way people's sexuality adapts throughout their life, the way they're turned on to new things, new experiences, and what are the things that never change within those sexual desires that always seem to be there. Michaela Miller says, book club in 15 minutes in the Discord. We are talking about psychopathy in the moral landscape. Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. Guys, please join our Discord and join the book club. I would really appreciate it if you guys join, and it's a good way to have access to me. There's an Ask Me Anything tab that you guys can engage with me on. The only rules for the Discord are engage in good faith and be helpful to each other. The war of ideas is a war, but you can't allow yourself to fall into deep levels of cynicism and nastiness and unhelpfulness, or else you're not even going to be helping yourselves in that engagement. It's not a place where is likely good for you. So just always a good exercise is to try to eliminate self-righteousness. Not that you can't be staunch and strong about the ideas and the things that you think to be, but if there's a nuanced idea out there and someone's trying out an idea or a new concept is coming out there, help it. Help that person. See where things can go. Don't be the cunt in the room. Now there's something that Douglas Murray talks about, and it's called having a cunt in the room. Like, if you have one person who's just there to be a cunt, it's quite obvious to other people, and they will send you and being like, okay, this person's just being a cunt now, and they're just cunting everything up, and it's cunting up the whole conversation that we're trying to have, and it's fucking things up, and it's focusing on useless shit that and semantics and stuff. And so this can graduate into trolling and all this stuff. It's like leave that stuff away. Leave the cynicism away. and be helpful to one another. I guess that's the message I will leave with people today. And please join our Discord. It'll be in the description of this video. And yeah, I really enjoyed the calls today. I will be back with this call-in show again next week. Every Sunday. I think we will change it officially to 1 p.m. Rax Lackhani says, been looking for a YouTube place that has genuine discourse that rationally encourages different views to be debated respectfully. Can't find that place anywhere. Really want my views challenged. Awesome, Rax. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell. I hope you call in next week, Raz and Rax, and subscribe here, but also join us on Discord. I am everywhere on social media, guys. I'm at the Pangburn everywhere. Please become a Pangburn subscriber, pang-burn.com/subscription. I'd really appreciate it. Hit the like button before you leave, and thank you to Michaela for moderating in the chat and everyone who stopped by. Yeah, this was a lot of fun again. This has been Test Your Skepticism number 2. And as always, let art and science inspire. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Head over to Book Club on Discord.
We need to be able to have conversations without feeling like we're going to say something that gets us thrown in jail because people happen to be offended.
Skepticism, skepticism.